So if you clicked on this video, chances are you're addicted to climbing. I know I am, and I have been for the past 2 years. There is simply nothing on earth that I would rather be doing. Hell, if I died and somehow made it into heaven, there better be some good lines for me to climb there, or I would gladly sell my soul to the devil instead. Climbing psych is one hell of a drug, and nothing has ever lived rent-free inside my head as much as this stupid fucking sport. So today I'm gonna take you through the 7 levels of climbing addiction, starting from the one that most people will never get past. So you step into a climbing gym for the very first time. Maybe you wanted to get into better shape and thought it might be a good option instead of the regular gym. Maybe you saw it on TV and thought it looked kind of fun. Or maybe your annoying ass friend begged you for 2 whole years to come and try it out before you finally caved. Whatever is the case, you strap on a pair of rental shoes, grab some of your friend's chalk, and get on your first V0. A little bit into the session, you think to yourself, yeah, I guess this is kind of fun, but this is nothing like what I saw on TV. Also, how on earth does anybody get addicted to this? I mean, it's not even been an hour and all my joints ache and my skin hurts so bad and I feel so damn weak. I mean, in the regular gym, I was pretty strong, but some random 10-year-old kid just like burned me off on a climb. Is this normal? Whatever. You know, I mean, I don't really see myself going too often. Maybe this can just be like a new casual hobby that I do with some friends once in a while, right? So you go to the climbing gym a few more times, and it's pretty much just like the first time. I mean, it's pretty fun, but also kind of painful, and you really just don't see what all the hype is all about. But then, something absolutely incredible happens, and you get your first taste of greatness. There's this one stupid orange climb right in the corner that you've been working on for so long now, and it's always seemed completely impossible for you, but recently you've somehow done all the moves, and just maybe it feels possible to put them all together. You're pretty deep into the session and you're already pretty exhausted, but you decide to give it that one final try before they strip the wall next week. You put your headphones on and start blasting whatever music gets you hype. And luckily for you, you lock in. You pull off the ground with absolute determination. You're convinced you're gonna fall on every single move, but somehow you stay on the wall and you keep moving forward. You hit the finishing jug absolutely pumped out of your mind. If you had wasted any more energy on any single move, you would have fallen. But you muster every ounce of willpower that's left in you to match the finishing jug for 3 whole seconds before dropping to the ground, absolutely exhausted. Wow, that felt amazing. Maybe climbing's more fun than you thought. So you've been going regularly for a few months now, trying to chase that high that you got sending your first project. Slowly but surely, you realize that more and more of your life revolves around how much you can climb. This stage is like the equivalent of when you're 12 years old and you do push-ups alone in your own room to try and get jacked. You buy your own pair of climbing shoes and your own chalk. You start watching YouTube videos on how to improve. You start researching gear like brushes and fans to try and give you that edge. You start dropping some of those cringy slang terms that you've always made fun of your friend for saying. You even touch grass for the first time in years, just so you can start climbing outside on the weekends. It's in this stage that you first realize that you're thinking about climbing even when you're not at the gym or at the crag. Maybe you catch yourself thinking about the moves on that purple V6 you almost did second try. Maybe you start daydreaming about a gorgeous line that you saw in a real rock film the other day. Or maybe you realize that when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you think about is how excited you are to climb that day. Whatever's the case, climbing slowly starts to take space inside of your brain, even when you don't want it to. Man, what's gotten into me? Am I really gonna be that annoying friend that I've made fun of for all these years? So one day you're pretty deep into your normal session when something very strange happens to you. You're absolutely cooked, right? Like you have no skin left whatsoever. All your joints and ligaments just ache. And even your toes are just cramping from being in the climbing shoe for so long. So you pack up your stuff and leave the gym, right? No. You climb for another 2 hours. What is wrong with me? Why can't I leave? Everything hurts so badly. Why can't I stop climbing? Well, my friend, this is just something you're gonna have to get used to, because once you feel that grip, there's no going back. You start buying more and more things to help you climb harder, better, and more often. Maybe you buy a massage gun and a Makita fan, or even some special climbing tape. You start obsessing about your skin and constantly checking to see how dry or sweaty your skin is. You start buying all kinds of skincare products to make sure that your skin is in tip-top shape at all times. You start trying to fit into tinier and tinier shoes until your feet look like goddamn trapezoids. You start buying more and more expensive chalk until you're donating your entire bank account to Magnum Mid-Toe. You start binge watching all the climbing content that you could ever get your hands on. You spend hours watching the same people do the same shit over and over again because you just cannot get the fix that you need. You now realize that a good deal of your waking consciousness is spent thinking about this dumb hobby that you have. Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. I plan to post on this channel pretty often, so if you want to see more videos like this, it would mean the absolute world to me if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. So if your Instagram feed looks something like this, then you're probably in this stage. Most of your life now revolves around when you can climb. You don't schedule climbing into your life. You schedule life into your climbing. Fans, wooden sanders, anti-hydral, Magdus Pro, Mag Juice, whatever, you buy them all. When you get to this stage, sometimes you'll be going to the gym for an easy technique session on your rest day and end up limit projecting for 3.5 hours. You always have some aches and pains somewhere, but you just flashed your new hardest benchmark on the moon board, so it must be working, right? Now, whenever you look around, you'll see climbs that aren't even there. You're walking through a city one day and you're scouting out potential boulders that have never been done. You're seeing potential lines all over the place, on buildings and bridges, and even in your own house. Random exercise machine at the gym? Nah, that's a pinchy V1 jug ladder. Basement staircase? Nah, that's a V8 compression test piece. You start becoming a goddamn geologist, researching every different type of rock. You start stalking pro climbers on 8A to see if you can find what they're sending before the media does. You even start following people on the Tension, Kilter, and Moon apps to stalk your favorite board lords and what they're doing in their sessions. And at nighttime, instead of thinking about that cute boy or girl you saw that day, you're thinking about your projects. And you're thinking about the dream lines that you just cannot wait to get on as you drift off to sleep. Now, this is where things start to get really fucked up. In the last level, your Instagram feed is just filled with climbing videos. In this level though, you bypass Instagram altogether. Now, whenever you need that dopamine hit, all you do is go onto your board apps or Mountain Project or the Gunks app and just stare at all the routes and boulders that you want to get on. Last summer, I went on a road trip to Tibet with some of my family, and while the scenery was absolutely beautiful, I got really food sick in rural Tibet. And to make myself feel better, I'll literally take out my phone and set couch boulders on the tension board app to distract myself from how much pain I was in and how absolutely rancid the bathrooms were. Before, you would catch glimpses of yourself thinking about climbing throughout the day. But now, it's hard to find a time where you aren't thinking about it in some capacity. Now, when somebody is talking to you and they start to bore you, you just start rehearsing moves on a random boulder halfway across the world that you've never even been to. When I was still in university, sometimes I would try to go to class, and for the entire 90-minute lecture, I would just be rehearsing beta on climbs that were like 7 grades above my max level. Like, I would not hear a single word that the professor says because I was too busy thinking about what my 5th favorite Jimmy Webb set is on the kilter board. You barely even watch other sports that you used to be obsessed with. Who needs to watch LeBron James when you have an unlimited supply of Peter Lee sends at your disposal? Who needs Shohei Ohtani when we have Sean RHM doing shit like this on the daily? Remember how in the last level you saw climbs that weren't even there? Well, now take that and turn it up to 11. Now, everything is a climb. You see holds everywhere. You're on the couch just watching TV when suddenly a sloper just appears out of thin air. You're taking your yearly shower and boom, 10mm crimp just appears out of nowhere. You're walking through your front door one day and you see a bomber quarter pad mini pinch that you've never noticed before. How could you have gone all these years without seeing it? And at night, not only do you think about your projects, but sometimes they even follow you into your dreams. There was one time, I swear to God, I dreamt of a random boulder on my gym spray wall. And when I woke up, I actually said it. And, well, it was ass, but it's still crazy regardless. Now, this is a mythical land of obsession that hardly anybody makes it into. And if you ever do find yourself here, I pray that you do not stay here for long. If you ever find yourself here, this is a hotline you can call. It's okay. The first step in getting better is admitting you have a problem. This is the stage where you will literally climb through anything. You could become a paraplegic, and you'd still try to find a way to climb through it using enough ibuprofen and tape. I've seen grown-ass men fully rupture their pulley and then still come in the next day to the climbing gym. Caleb, what the fuck are you doing? Go home. At this level, you have the ball knowledge of routes and climbers on the level of like a chess grandmaster. Some random crusher who posted one time 10 years ago about some random FA they did, you know about it. Some random Chaucy 7A plus halfway across the country, you know about it. Some poopy IFSC boulder that was set in like 2017, you know about it. You know every ascent of the hardest climbs in the world, and you know every beta that was used for each of them. You stalk people for hours on 8A or Kaya or the tension board app just to see what they're up to. You'd gladly spend an entire day hiking alone, looking at the most Chaucy 0-star lines ever, just in case you might be able to FA them. You know about every climbing shoe that has ever been made, and you have backups for your backups. You will wake up, watch climbing videos for 4 hours, then climb for 5 hours. Then when you get back home, you watch another 6 hours of climbing videos, and it somehow still isn't enough. And at night, you don't even touch yourself anymore because you're too busy chasing that next send. And even if you did, it would probably be to the crux hold on your project. So yeah. If any of that sounded a little too familiar, congrats. You might be cooked. At some point, this stops being a hobby and starts becoming an affliction that consumes every part of your being. And the absolute worst part, I know that when I'm hanging on for dear life at the top of my lifetime project, it'll all be worth it. Hopefully. Or maybe your annoying ass friend begged you for 2 years to try and come it out. Thank you all so much for watching. The support on my last video was incredible, and Even the Swedish demigod Emil Abrahamsson commented on it, and I couldn't be happier. Let me know if you have any constructive feedback or video suggestions in the comment section down below, and I hope to see you back here very soon.